Hey, what's up? This is Davis, and I'm hanging out with Rob on Front Row Live.
New single, Hello.
Yeah.
Video recently dropped. The video is killer.
Oh,
and the
thanks,
track
man.
is killer too. It goes really good together. Tell me about the creative process with this track. I know it's a one-off from your previous EP, Crooked Finger, that you released, right?
Yeah, so at the moment, Hello's kind of the first single that I put out since the Crooked Finger EP.
Okay.
And I'll just be doing one-offs from here on out. Like, so I'll just be releasing singles one at a time.
I feel like that's the best way now. Like, a lot of artists are going for the singles instead of like the EPs or the records right now.
It kind of makes sense for me, like, creatively as a songwriter, to just worry about one song at a time.
Right.
Because that way I can kind of get into a world of one, maybe style, like Hello, for example, is like, you know, I wanted to write a song that was kind of super 90s, kind of almost Nirvana meets Blur, but then with a little bit of Arctic Monkeys and Queens of Stone Age in there.
There was so many mixtures in there that like you can't say like you sound like this person.
Oh,
like
that's cool.
you make your own sound at the same time. But you could tell like there's so many influences coming, you know, to your music.
I mean, thanks, man. You know, that's the goal. Like, whenever I'm writing, I try to, because I love all different types of rock and roll. Right. But my thing is I try to smash influences together that don't normally go together. Right. So, for example, I have like a song called Get Mine, and at the heart of it, it's kind of like a Dylan folk-style 12-bar blues. Right. But then I brought in some modern, like, Kasabian influences, because I like the band Kasabian. So I smashed those two together, and hopefully you get something kind of unique out of that. Right. But, yeah, going back to Hello, I wrote that right at the tail end of living in Echo Park, and yeah, it was just kind of, I don't know. It was kind of a rough time in my life as far as like personally. I was just like, I didn't like the person I become. I was kind of going out too much, partying too much, you know.
See, that's the LA life though. That's the problem with living out there. And then rent gets expensive because you're partying too much.
Exactly, dude. I couldn't afford LA. I was like, I'm broke again. Like, I'm in debt again, you know. And, you know, it really just, the song, I was writing a bunch of different songs, and that one almost came out as like a release. You know, it was just like I was frustrated with myself, with like my, you know, rent situation, whatever it was. Right. So I just wanted to write a song that kind of just spoke about that a little bit, you know. Yeah. And that was Hello. That was Hello.
But it's funny because it's like you telling me about it. It sounds like there was so much anger involved, but when you listen to the track, it just sounds so fun. Like,
dude, thanks,
so
man.
that's like. I don't understand how artists like are able to make such a, you know, heavy song that like it breaks their heart or whatnot, but then you hear it and it just sounds so fun. Like, how are you able to create something like that?
Oh, well, I mean, first of all, thank you. I mean, like, the goal is, even if you're writing a song that maybe was out of some kind of turmoil or some kind of darkness or whatever was going on in your life, hopefully, like, just getting it out, the release, is enjoyable for others, right? And yourself. You're kind of like, hey, whatever's going on in my life, like, it sucks right now. At least I can get this song out and say it. And then, all right, now I feel better, you know? And, you know, I like rock and roll music, so usually things I write are going to be somewhat kind of fun, or, you know, I try to make things a little bit more, like, melodic and catchy, but it's, even if it's, like, kind of a darker song. But, yeah, Hello, it's kind of like, shit sucked, but let's party.
And it's getting better.
Yeah.
So prior to Hello, you had released the Crooked Finger EP. Yeah. That EP, you created on the road. Is that my understanding? Like,
yeah, I recorded
there was no actual studio?
Well, the producer of the Crooked Finger EP, like, he built a studio in an RV. Okay. It was kind of just like a janky, like, DIY kind of recording studio. Okay. Amazing gear, but built in a very, like...
Shit, the production sounds incredible, though.
Yeah, I mean, he's a really talented producer. Shout out to Brent. And great gear, but it was like one of those situations where it's like, be careful, like, don't go over the bump, you know, like, too gnarly.
Wait, so you were really, like, actually on the road while you were creating stuff?
Yeah, we were on the road. Damn. And we have the studio in the RV, so we traveled all throughout the country. And,
dude, that's crazy.
Yeah, we built the vocal booth, like, in the RV shower. Wow. So you couldn't use the shower except to do vocals, you know. But we definitely showered along the way. But no,
I'm glad you pointed that out.
Yeah, totally. For those, no, it was super fun. It was like, it was a crazy experience because occasionally we dip into studios like along the way. Right. So we ended up in Nashville at one point, and we got to dip into the Sound Emporium studios out there, which is just, it's like legendary. It's where like Johnny Cash recorded and stuff. So one minute I'm like tracking vocals in like an RV bathroom, you know what I mean? And then the next I'm at this legendary studio in Nashville.
That's so crazy. Like I hope you documented that. Like that must have been like some crazy experience though.
There's tons of photos, tons of footage. We still have to go through a lot of that footage. Right. We did throw a lot of the, I don't know, that experience is in the video for 2 Cents. So that video kind of like follows us along the road, like, and we shot, you know, along the way. Like one time we were in Utah in Moab, which is like the national park or whatever. Right. And we just put,
which is a dream spot for me, by the way. Like that's where I want to go and run.
Dude, yeah. I mean, it's amazing. It's beautiful, and it's like it's really like empty. You know, there's a lot of space, and there's not many people around. And yeah, we shot some of the video out there, like as we were kind of recording out there. Yeah. We put a guitar amp outside and tried to track stuff. Yeah, it was really like, so sick. Like, it was definitely unorthodox, but you know, I'm really grateful for it because of that process. It being so kind of, you know, left of center or whatever, it challenged me as a songwriter and just as like a, you know, a performer when I'm in the studio, because it's like if you're singing vocals in an RV bathroom, like in downtown Portland, for example, like, and you only have a couple hours to do that because we gotta go, right? Like, it kind of forces you to step up and just deliver, you know, because you know that if you can sing it good in that situation, you can do it anywhere, right? Yeah.
That's incredible.
So
that's incredible. So when you came in to do Hello, that was a regular studio process. Did you want to do something different with that? Like what?
Yeah, Hello was different than the Crooked Finger EP. We recorded Hello in Echo Park. Okay. So same producer as the Crooked Finger EP with the help of another producer, but yeah, it was recorded in Echo Park. I did a little bit of Hello just in my bedroom, like the home studio. Like a lot of times when I make demos, if I sing and the vocal just happens to sound rad, we'll just leave it in. You know what I mean? And we're like,
that's rock and roll.
It's rock and roll. That's rock and roll. So like, it's kind of a juxtaposition with my music because you have like maybe my demo vocal that's just on like, it's called a 58 mic, right? Whatever, like just like a whatever mic, and then the studio, which has like an amazing mic. You know what I mean? Like you kind of throw both worlds.
Yeah, but that's a good thing though. That's why artists like Dave Grohl, for example, like he'll go and record an album with like live tracks instead of like actually producing stuff like the way that a lot of artists do today.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Dave Grohl is and what the Foo Fighters do is such an inspiration. Josh Homme and Queens of Stone Age is another just huge inspiration because like they do the same thing. It's like they'll have the most like legit guitar setup of all time, you know, like the best amp, best guitar, best tone. That'll be in like one part of the song, and then like the shittiest, rawest like tone or whatever in the other one, and they both sound rad together.
No, that's very true. That's one of those things. I think that's their key to longevity. That it's like it's so original from the beginning till now.
That's the hardest thing. I mean, as a guitar player, you try to build on your influences. Like Josh Homme's an influence of mine, of course. Like Kurt Cobain, even Chuck Berry. Like, you know, all these classic, great rock and rollers. But hopefully you try to create your own sound and your own way of doing things so that when people hear your music, they go, oh, that's Davis playing guitar. Like, I can tell, you know? And
exactly. You have to have that signature, like, tone, that signature sound. Like,
I mean, that's what all the great guys do. You know, all the guys I look up to, like, especially guitar players, they just have that signature sound that stands out anytime you hear them. And, you know, that's something I strive for. I'm always trying to get there, you know, and hopefully, like, I don't know if I've gotten there yet. That's for other people to decide, but I'm definitely trying, you know?
Well, you're on the right track. Like that, I can tell you that. And just with this latest, like, single, it's catchy, man. Like, it's really catchy. Now, what's next for you aside from the single? Like, any more shows, any tours, any, you know, are you working on a new single at the moment?
Yeah, couple things coming up. I got a new single called Los Angeles that's going to come out anytime. That one is almost polar opposite to Hello. Okay. So
that's when you first moved to Los Angeles?
Yeah, kind of, actually. Yeah, that song, Los Angeles, was written about just kind of a lot of my experiences in the grind, you know, the music grind in LA. But it's cool. If you like Hello, like, you'll like it as well. It's just different. But yeah, I have a show on, we just booked it on October 4th I forget the name of the venue right now, but
Is it LA, OC?
yeah, that'll be in Los Angeles.
Okay, awesome.
So that coming up, and yeah, just I write every day and try to, you know, I don't know, get better. So hopefully just,
Right.
you know, better music along the way.